Mike is so thirsty that he hasn't had a drink of water in 500 years. As soon as he drinks, he is transported to the desert. In the water he drinks turns to sand in his mouth. Mike him remember how many times this has happened to him. 500 years ago Mike was suddenly transported to the desert. He was confused and didn't know what was happening, but he had to get out of the desert to survive. He had been walking in the desert for 49 days when he finally found an oasis. Mike runs to it and is overjoyed to see that there is water. Ken had a drop of water since he arrived in the desert, so he got down on the ground and drank it straight away. But then next moment Mike was transported back to the desert. It turned out that he was cursed to return to the desert as soon as he drank the water. So Mike walked for another 49 days before he found the oasis again. Mike Newsdale and prepares to drink, but he is transported back through the desert and the water he drinks turns to sand. And so Mike kept drinking and kept being transported back after many years. Mike finally realizes that he may be cursed when he saw the water again. Instead of getting down on the ground to drink, he walked straight through it. Eventually, after 49 days of walking, Mike came to the road and stopped the car and the driver agreed to give him a lift. Mike got into the car and was handed a bottle of water, which he drank without thinking. He was back in the desert and the water in the bottle had turned to sand. Mike was devastated and set off again. 49 days passed and Mike came out on the road again and stopped the car with the same driver. The driver offered him a drink of water, but Mike was so scared that he refused. Mike was cursed that if he drank water, he would be transported to the desert. After 500 years, Mike finally returns home. He jumps into the pool to take a shower, but the next thing he knows, Mike is back in the desert. After another 500 years, Mike stops a car with the same driver. Finally he's home again, lying on his beloved sofa. He hadn't had a drink in 1,000 years and he couldn't stand it any longer. So Mike turned on the tap, poured a glass of water and put ice cubes in it. He just wanted to see if he could quench his thirst with his mind. But Mike was so thirsty that he dipped his finger in the water, then put it in his mouth and sucked hard. Then Mike realized he had teleported to the desert. This time he tried again and still didn't teleport back. So Mike kept dipping his finger in the water and even picked up the glass and drank from it. It was the first time Mike had drunk water in a long time. Have you ever experienced the feeling of finally getting a drink of water after being thirsty for so long? Mike was so happy he thought the curse was over. So Mike went outside, took off his shoes, and jumped into the pool. It was a great feeling. But the next moment, Mike was sent back. The curse had been there all along and Mike was devastated. When he returned to the town, he hid in a corner and felt very sad. It was then that he remembered what had happened. "Can I please have some of your bottled water?" Mike then realized that this could be the key to unmarking the curse. At that moment, a beautiful woman approached him.
"Excuse me, ma'am. Can I have some water?"
I'm sorry, it's for my dog.
The next moment, the woman disappeared. Mike smiled at the sight. It had finally lifted the curse. I don't know if you can guess where the woman went. Yes, she was transported to the desert and Mike's curse was transferred to her. I don't know how long the woman has to go through to get rid of the curse. That's the end of the story. Thanks for watching.